What's up, guys? My name is Delecie Martin. I'm coming to you from Washington Adventist University, and I'm going to teach you how to dribble a basketball into a layup, but I'm going to take a kinesiology approach. So sit back and let's watch. Alright, so first thing first, we have our dribbling phase, which is simply, we're going to talk about the main bones that are used for this, and we have our wrist. So we have our carpal, our metacarpal, and we also have our radius and ulnar bones. And basically, your wrist is your synovial joint, and basically this is what we're going to use to flick the ball as we release for a layup, or even when we're dribbling the ball, it's more wrist action. Also, with the wrist, it is responsible for flexion and extension. That's a key point. Second thing is we have our dribbling phase for the elbow, which is also a synovial joint. Key things about this is that it's using our humerus, our radius, and our ulna. Also, the elbow is responsible for supination and pronation. It's also responsible for flexion and extension. Also a key point for when dribbling, because you want full range of motion as you dribble, flexion with the wrist and also extension and flexion with the elbow. And last but not least, the last for our dribbling, which is surrounded by our muscles that are surrounded by our humerus bone, which is our deltoid, bicep, tricep, and our brachialis. And those are also functions that we need for full extension. Alright guys, and now we're on to the legs. Yes, the legs, which is simply, we have our pelvis area, which supports our whole upper body, which is our whole trunk. So of course we need this as we're going forward and we're digging down for the layup. We have our femur, we have our tibular, our fibular, our patella bone. All of these bones play a major role in our layup position. We also have our metatarsals, and we have our phalanges and also our talus. These bones all play a major role in the layup. In a layup position, we're going up. You start to dig down, and at this point, you're putting all the pressure from your upper body while in motion from the previous motion we've put together from the arms, and we're going up. Two quick facts. Our knee joint is responsible for the flexion and extension of the lower limb, and our hip joint is responsible for the extension and the flexion of the upper limb. Words of wisdom. Muscles are the requirement for flexion and extension, therefore also for the movement. Next we have our jumping and landing phase, which is simply a vertical jump, and it's talking about basically your tibular, your fibular. Yes, we're using these muscles once again because they're key to dribbling a basketball into a layup, of course. Alright, so in this jumping and landing phase with the vertical jump, as if you are going up for the actual layup in mid-air, what is simply being used is our tibular, our fibular, our metatarsal, phalanges, and our calculus. Muscles involved with the vertical jump. Basically taking that, my right leg, my whole right side is in the air now. So with my knee being used, the muscles that are being used for my knee up is simply my hamstrings, my quadriceps, and of course, my gluteus maximus. Now with the left leg that is left behind, we simply have our gastrocnemius. Next on our jumping and landing phase is the release of the ball. This is a motion when you're up in the air and your arm. Now we're talking about our ball and socket joint. So muscles that are involved, we have our bicep once again, we have our tricep, our deltoid, our pectoralis major. Also we have joints that are involved. Of course we have our elbow joint, and then we have our shoulder joint, and most of all important, once again, we're going to repeat this one time, our wrist joint. These are all important factors in either dribbling a ball, and then we also have the jumping and landing phase. Last but not least, for the jumping and landing phase, we have core stability. Core stability, once again I'll repeat, is our abdomen and our lower back. We have muscles that are involved in the core, and the core stability basically is your abdomen, your lower back, that's our show. We have our gluteus maximus. We have hamstrings, quadriceps, and gastrocnemius, which is simply is the end of the jumping and landing phase, and simply the end of our dribbling and the kinesiology movements of it. For a recap, we have the dribbling phase, which consists of our wrist, our elbow, and our shoulder joint, which also consists of our pelvis, our patella, and our carpal and metatarsals.